Marsau was born in Pontiac, Michigan, the sixth of 8 kids and the fifth of 6 boys. Early on, his passion for brotherhood and hard work was evident. He started his first business at the age of 13, selling community newspapers in front of the local shopping plaza. At the age of 17, his senior year in high school, Marsau partnered with his brother, Maurice Scott, and started M&M Pool Construction Company. Marsau attended Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia, Oakland University, and Auburn Hills, Michigan, and finally finishing his undergraduate degree at Alabama A&M University, where he majored in business administration with a concentration in international business. His hunger for greatness and his hustle for development allowed Marsau to combine his knowledge in his formal education and see business from every angle. Upon completing his degree in 2004 while attending graduate school, Marsau met me, Letitia. Instantly, he knew in 2005 that I, would become his wife, and in 2006, we were married. Our union has been joined together for 13 years in September of this year, and we have welcomed 3 amazing kids. Marsau is a star cast member on the reality TV show Love and Marriage Huntsville on OWN TV. Marsau is the president and co-owner of Scott Industries, a general contracting company. Welcome, ladies, Marsau J. Scott. God is my boss. Being a business owner is one thing, but when you add wife and mom to that, oh, that's a whole different ball game. Welcome to the Mommy Business Podcast. We are here to discover how to win at this thing called life. It's time for you to design the life of your dreams, one building block at a time. This is Mommy Business with Letitia. Hey girlfriends, welcome to the Mommy Business Podcast. This is Letitia. I have a special guest here with me today, my hubby, Maurice Scott.
Hey everybody.
Say hi, Marsau.
Hey everybody, girlfriends or no people.
This is our tribe. So today we're going to talk about marriage. Can you really have that fairy tale marriage? Is it true? That's the topic today. I don't know if it's true or not, but we're going to ask my guest here a couple of questions, and he will be able to tell us the real tea on that topic of marriage.
All right. Fairy tale marriages.
So, Marsau, can you just tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
My name is Maurice Scott. I am from Pontiac, Michigan. I went to the Alabama A&M University in 2000 to 2004. Afterwards, I met my beautiful wife, Letitia Scott. We dated exclusively for about a month. Then I proposed to her. And we've been married for 13 years. We have 3 beautiful children. MJ, our oldest, is 12 years old. Macy, 7 years old. And today is Mila's birthday, my youngest. She's 4.
Yay! Happy birthday, Mila.
Boom, 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 boom,
So, in Marsau intro, you heard him say that we dated for what? You said 1 month before you proposed to me, or before you wanted to take that next step to propose or to marry me?
Yeah, dated 1 month, proposed.
So, people would think that that's such a short time. Like, at what point did you realize that, this is the one?
I think that people can, I hate to compare it to the two, but you can look at a house and know right away you like it. You can look at a car and test drive it for a second and know you like it. And you don't have to eat a whole gallon of ice cream to know that you like the taste. So it was right away, jumped into it, said, hey, this is for me. I like it.
Really?
Yeah.
So what are some of the things like, okay, because marriage is big, this is a commitment. When you think about marriage, you're like, I'm not going to do it again. This is my one and only time doing it. So you was like, at this point in my life, I went to school, I'm working towards my career, I'm ready to make that next step into a relationship to spend my life with someone.
Yeah, I don't think that's how I thought about it.
Oh, so what did you think about it?
Yeah, I think that I was, 25, 26 before I proposed. Just thought it was just, honestly, I mean, I'm glad I made the decision. But marriage is like, it was just like, okay, I graduated high school, now I guess it's college. Hey, I graduated college, I guess it's grad school. Hey, I got this going, I guess I got to find somebody to settle down with, and I guess you got to buy a house now and get a dog. So I guess these things were just kind of in my mind when you're thinking about just marriage. But when I met you, it was just kind of like, okay, cool. I can see myself being with her. I'd be with her, and let's do it.
So Marsau and I, when we first met, we'll take you a little bit back. We met at DirecTV. And I remember when I first saw him, I was like, dang, you have on a really nice suit, but you have on dusty shoes. Like, why would you have on such a nice suit with dusty shoes? And that was just my first reaction of you. And you slid me your number, and I was like, what make you think I want your number?
And I said, well, don't call me then.
He did. And it took us a while. So I finally called him. And we just clicked. It was just fun. The conversation was good. We were just friends. And my focus at the time was definitely not marriage. I was focused on school. And when we talked, we was like, hey, it is what it is. We're not trying to force anything. If something comes out of it, it happens. If not, it is what it is, because I wanted to move out of Alabama. So definitely wasn't my plan.
And one of the funny things is that when I gave you my number, it was not just my whole thought process was, I don't want to spend all of this time trying to figure out if she likes me, if she lying to me, if she gonna call me like she said she would. It's really her real phone number. I'm sitting there going through the whole thing. Like, at the end of the day, I like her, and so if she calls me, I know she likes me. She ain't gonna die in that. So, that's where we hit off like that. So my thing wasn't for you to make the first move, but I just didn't want to be calling you, wasting your time, and you wasn't into me like I was into you.
Yeah. And speaking of the first move, y'all, let me tell you about this Marsau here. So our first date was, where did we go for our first date?
Home Depot.
Yep, Home Depot. So that was our first date. And afterwards, Marsau was flipping a house. And I was impressed. I'm in college. I'm with this guy. He's in grad school. He's flipping his first house. I'm like, dang, this is dope. So I'm over there. We're chilling. And Marsau stopped doing his work he was doing, tried to bust a move. He was playing a little piano. He was doing playing that one little song that he can still play to this day. May need to put him in piano lessons. But then he tried to, guys, they always try to make that first move. They're going to try to test you. They're going to try to test the water. So here he go with his hand coming up my legs. And my reaction was,
I remember I thought that you'd been on your feet too long, and I was gonna rub
Let's
your
be
calf.
real.
I kneeled down to rub your calf muscle, and you stood up and walked right out the house and left me right there. And I was like, ooh. Guess that wasn't the move.
Yeah, because we was not trying to be out active so soon. And it wasn't.
We weren't.
It wasn't planned. Like, it wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna go over here, we're gonna chill. If he busts a move, then I'm gonna leave, because it's just, I don't know. It just wasn't like planned or anything. And when you tried, I'm like, no, this is not the route I want to take with you. So let me just get up out of here. And he tried it like, what, 2-3 times?
No, I tried it the second time, and then the second time I followed you out and like, okay, what's going on? But you know what? It does. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I think that people got this confused. They got, sex at the time that you have it in relationships. They got it confused. Because at the end of the day.
So you said it doesn't matter if you have sex in the beginning of a relationship or towards the middle. It doesn't matter if the guy knows that he wants to take it to the next level as far as marrying you.
I think that's what matters the most.
What matters the most?
I think what matters the most is how you treat, how you feel, how you respect, how you treat someone before, during, and after sex. I think those are the things that matter. I don't think just because you made a guy, wait for a long period of time, he's going to respect you more. It has nothing to do with anything. It's all about it. To me, it's all about how he actually feels about you. Does he? Are you that queen? Is he that? Are you the person that he wants to sacrifice for? You know, and pursue.
I hear you. I don't know about that. I don't know if I agree with that, but hey, that's
look
his.
13 years later and figure that part out.
I mean, that's our story, but I mean, I don't think, to me, I didn't feel that way. I mean, I was always told you don't give it up too soon because, one, when you give it up too soon, it can cause mixed feelings. You can think you're in love and you're really not in love. It's lust, not love. So you wanted to keep that mind clear, especially when you want to know if this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with.
I think that when you talk about giving it up too soon, I think that the biggest issue is not, did I give it up too soon? Guys want to feel like that you don't do this for everyone.
Okay.
Right. So guys want to feel like she didn't do this for everyone, but she did it for me. So besides just saying, hey, you're different, you're special, I don't normally do this, they actually want to know that they're different, they're special, and that she doesn't normally do this. This is not her chosen route.
Okay, well, hey, we can go on and on about the beginning because it was fun. We had no kids. It was playful, and we was living our best life.
Right.
But let's get back into the marriage after we actually said I do, and we had that child because we had a child early on in our marriage. Let us know some of the challenges that you had to overcome within the first, let's keep it to the first 5 years because I think the first 5 years for us was that challenging part of our marriage.
Okay. Honestly, I think that you fall in love, you meet somebody, you fall in love, and you say, you know what, I want to spend the rest of my life with them. And I fell in love with my girlfriend at the time. And I thought, oh, wow, this girl's great, and she's never going to change. Right? And so I wanted that. Hey, I saw that on the menu. That's what I wanted.
That never changed before kids. That was the girl you fell in love with. The girl that was single, in college, no responsibility, no kids.
Yeah, if you want to assess it like that, I looked at it as if this is Letitia.
Okay.
Not knowing how. I mean, I didn't have no, whatever time machines where I can go in the future and tell what it's going to be. But so I fell in love with that Letitia. And then what changed in there, we say, okay, well, this is Letitia that's, college Letitia. Now we got career Letitia. Then we have first trimester pregnant Letitia. And if a guy can last with a woman through the first trimester, he can last through anything.
That's not true.
We got first trimester Letitia. After that, we've got, think about it. When we were in college, it was just me and you. You get off work, it's just me. You call in to work.
I catered to him. That's what he's trying to say.
Okay, and then guess what happens after that?
When you have a child, you get to split that attention.
Right. Okay. And so my thing is that's not what I had to get used to the fact that that's not what I signed up for.
Okay.
I thought that I was going to get a girlfriend that when she gets off work, come holler at me. Hey, what you want to do this weekend? Hey, you hanging with your guys? Blah, 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 blah. All of that stuff. And after we got together, it was just like, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. Got to do that. And so at the very end of the day is when I came along.
Okay, so you're saying that the beginning of our marriage, the challenging part was that I wasn't giving you all the attention that you was used to.
You're saying the word all, and I think that's a mistake.
Okay.
I'm saying as much as I care for. Okay. Meaning that I felt that we were just roommates.
So could that be considered a lack of communication?
That can be considered a lack of attention and a lack of time.
So how do you feel that now? That was the first 5 years. So we're what, 13, almost 13 years now this year. Do you feel like that has changed? What are the steps that we have taken, or the steps that we took to change that?
I think that the steps that, when it comes to marriage, when it comes to time, affection, love, these are things that don't go away. These are things that it's like eating and using the right words and exercising. It's not like you can exercise good one day and you don't have to exercise again the next day. It's like not like you can eat really well and then just say, you know what, I ate all good this week. I'm gonna blow it all on this cheat day. You know, you have to maintain it every day. That problem's always going to be there. So when it comes to communication, I mean, I think that yes, sometimes we are. I think sometimes, yeah, we communicate well, and sometimes we don't. I think it increases. I think that what's getting better in our relationship is we spend a lot less time before we decide that one of us is going to, forgive each other, or one of us is going to ask for forgiveness. So before we get mad and we just ignore each other for a week. Now,
so that whole going to bed angry thing that people tell you in the beginning of your marriage, like we didn't do that.
We tried not to go to bed angry.
No, we did go to bed angry plenty of nights.
You said we didn't?
We did.
Oh, you got doggone right.
Yes.
Now, if you're angry and you say you're all right, well, good night. My thing is, I mean, this how it is. I mean, don't act like you don't do it to me.
I do.
All right. I know you're upset, and I'm not gonna deal with it right now.
Yeah, I just go upstairs to the guest bedroom. So that advice went out the window.
Well, I think that's good, solid things that you should want to strive to. But the idea is it's a challenge, and what makes a marriage more is, to me, it's not the love. It's the commitment and the like.
See, for me, it's the love, because sometimes, especially early on in our relationship, I didn't like you. I mean, I was committed to you, but I'm like, I don't like this person right now. But at the end of the day, I was like, at my core, I love him, and I want to try to work it out, and I want us to figure out how we can fix whatever it is, because what you don't realize is that it's easy to walk away. It's hard to stay in it and fight for it.
It's not easy to walk away.
Yes, it is. Man, please. Yes, it is. I could have walked away within the first 3 years. Of course, I didn't want to be a single mom, but
that makes it a little more challenging.
Well, that was the challenging part. Yeah. But I'm just saying, to actually stay in a marriage and fight for it, it's harder for me. I'm speaking for myself. Than it was to I could have just walked away and be like, let me just start my life over.
A single decision, if you said of a single decision, yes, marriage is, a lot of successful decisions that says, no, I didn't, I'm going to be married again today. It's without question. The single decision to say, you know what, let me turn into this courthouse. That's a hard decision. It's a hard decision for me. You know? I
Googled it plenty of times.
Well, I tell you what, just make sure you understand.
I did. Just being real.
But even if you Google it plenty of times, when you go back and look at it, you'd have to think about the fact that you're Googling more than just your life.
Yeah. And that was the major part. Like, it wasn't just about me. It was about, a child, because at that time we only had one child. And, I mean, we really did have a good time together. I'm like, he's my friend. So let's try to work this out. Let's try to, fix this relationship. I think another thing for us was that and I tell people this all the time, like in a marriage, you have two different people from two totally different backgrounds that's trying to come together and make it one, and to merge everything together. And that could be difficult within itself, because I was so used to things my way. And I think, Marsau, you was used to having things your way. So we used to butt heads a lot in the beginning, because I think I was trying to compromise me to be more of what you wanted me to be. Do you feel that way within yourself?
I can't think of a better evaluator of how a wife is doing than a husband or her husband. So, yes, I think that I should be the husband, that I'm not being a husband for myself. I should be a husband for you, and you should be a wife for me. So to that extent, you're the boss of me in terms of how a husband should be, because I'm being a husband to you. You're the evaluator of that position, and me as a wife. So yes, I definitely think the conformity. I think the challenge comes in where we have to look at our background. Okay,
right?
You're raised by a very strong, you're raised by a very strong woman. A group.
Yeah, it wasn't just my mom.
Right. And so a different person would say, you're raised by a lot of women with no men.
Okay.
Right. And so, not getting into whys, but would definitely say that if now you have a man and the advice you're getting is from women with no men. The advice that you're getting is saying, when we first bought the house, that one house, girl, I wouldn't sign my man onto nothing. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do that. And I'm like, well, yeah. And you wanted, at first, when we first started, you wanted your name on everything. I got to put my name on it. I got to put my name on it. I got to put my name on it. But when we got into trouble, guess what? You were happy your name wasn't on it.
So,
right.
This is a great point to stop right now.
Okay.
So we're going to take a short break, and we have one more thing that we're going to talk to Marsau about. So just stay tuned. If you like the topic that we discussed today on the podcast, I would love to hear from you. If you have questions about today's podcast, please email me at mommybizpodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's mommybiz podcast@gmail.com. Also, for booking and sponsorship, please hit that email address up. I would love to have you on, and we would love to discuss how you're winning at this thing called life. Okay, guys. Sorry, I always say guys. Okay, ladies.
It's only ladies.
Okay, girlfriends, we're back. We're back on with Marsau.
Yo.
So, Marsau is an awesome businessman, and I get a lot of business advice from him. But we have to talk about marriage too, because that's our foundation. That's our core. That's what put us together in business, as parents and everything. So, back onto this marriage thing. So, Marsau, tell me one thing. How do you feel about sex in a marriage? And also the importance of sex in a marriage.
I think that there are certain things inside your marriage, or in any relationship, that will change the, direction it's going in. So if you think about time, money, communication, sex, those are things to me that if you change those, either increase them or decrease them, they're going to change the direction of your relationship. I think when you get married, the only thing that you promise to never do with any other person is to have sex.
That's the only thing you promise to never do.
You don't
with
promise
any
never
other
spend
person?
time with people. I'm not talking about opposite sex. I'm saying time in general. You're going to spend time at your job. You're going to spend time with your kids. You're going to spend money at your job. You're going to spend money on your kids. You're going to communicate with people on your job. You're going to communicate with your kids. You're not going to have sex with people on your job. Okay, so sex is the one thing that you said, I'm only going to do this act with you. If I don't do this act with you, then I don't do this act. And so the fact that if someone says, no, I'm not going to do this act, then you're taking away all the sex I'll ever have. And to me, that's how important it is. It's as important as, I don't know, maybe if you've had air or food.
So do you say that sex is a non-negotiable in a relationship or in a marriage?
I think that men or people that are active or have a high sex drive in a relationship would like for it to not be a non-negotiable, but unfortunately it's not a non-negotiable.
It's not?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's highly negotiable.
Okay.
It's unfortunately.
That's what he said. So
How do you feel about sex in a marriage? I'm just not my podcast, but I did want to ask that question.
I asked the questions, not you.
Okay.
This is about me asking you questions.
Yeah.
So, last question, Marsau. This has been fun.
It has been fun.
Yeah.
I'd like to know the answer to that question, but it's been fun.
One more question I have for you. Do you think about a backup?
Do I think about a backup?
As far as in your marriage, like, do you have an idea like, hey, if this doesn't work, then this is my backup plan?
I think that in any endeavor, you can either give your all or give what you think is enough. Mm-hmm. And in your marriage, if you choose the latter, if you choose to give what you think is enough and not your all, I think if you're going to have a backup plan, make sure your backup plan is better than your initial plan, because your initial plan is bound to fail.
But how do you know if your backup plan is better? I mean, isn't that whole saying that grass is not always green on the other side?
What I'm saying is that if you have a backup plan, you're going to fail at your first plan. So
because you're not. So what you're saying is that
Right.
you're not giving your first plan 100% because
Right.
in the back of your mind you're thinking,
Right.
if this doesn't work out, I'm going to do X, Y, Z.
Right.
So backup is a no-no.
Right. Well, so I'm saying either don't have a backup plan or don't have an initial plan.
Okay, so let me ask you another question. I remember your auntie came to me and she said that, she's like, I wish you guys the best. I'm not saying anything I want to happen on your marriage. However, make sure you have a savings account, out of sight, out of mind. She's like, put money into that account throughout your relationship. She's like, once a week, every pay period, just stack money into that into that account, because you never know what might happen. Do you think that is considered like a backup plan, or do you think that's like just smart advice?
I think that's smart advice and a savings plan. I think the worst thing you can ever think is that, yeah, my marriage failed, but at least I got $200,000 saved up. Okay. At the end of the day, my thing is this, like people often asking you, what would happen if you found out that Tisha was doing this, or you found out there's something like that? You know what? I'd be hurt. Mm-hmm. That's it. I don't have a plan after that. I don't have there's no marriage insurance. There's no life insurance plan for marriage that fail. You're just sad. And you feel like for a while, you feel like a failure. You feel like what you gave to your life to was, worthless. You try to figure it out. You try to collect the pieces and you try to figure out how to move on. I've never been there, and God knows I never want to be there. So at the end of the day, I wouldn't give an ounce of energy towards thinking about anything towards a backup plan. I don't want it. That's not what I want. I want my marriage to work. I want to be old. I want to be standing on a yacht one day and they say, who's been married for 50 years? And I want me and you to stand up and dance slowly. That's how I want my marriage to be.
Not slowly. I'm still be fast.
Do you have a savings account?
Huh?
Do you have a savings account?
I do have a savings account. I do. Mm-hmm.
Well, I can tell you one thing right now.
Well, the reason
get that allowance a little shorter.
My allowance? What? But
shit.
No, because when I worked in the finance industry, I ran across so many females that their husband did everything. Stay-at-home mom.
Mm-hmm.
Their husband paid all the bills, the bank accounts, everything. They didn't know any of this information. So when the husband when they decided they wanted to split ways and file for a divorce, I had several females crying at my desk. They didn't know what to do, where to start. They didn't have credit. The husband removed their name off of all of the accounts, so they didn't have access to money. Mm-hmm. So to me, that advice made sense. I mean, no, I can't predict the future. And of course, I want my marriage to work and I'm going to fight for my marriage. I'm going to give it 100.
Right.
Yeah. But it's like, I don't ever want to be in that situation.
Well, let me ask you a question.
You can't ask questions.
Well, just real quick. Just real quick. I just want to get some clarity information on this. Because I think your viewers might want to know this, or your listeners might want to know this. While you were a stay-at-home mom, what percentage of the company did you own?
80% of the company.
85%.
Was it 85%? Did we change 85%.
That? When you look at
so 85% of Scott's, but 100% of Infinity Property.
Okay.
But also
real quick, this part two of the question.
Okay.
If you own 85% of Scott, the company
Mm-hmm.
that I'm the president of, and you own 100% of the company that owns the strip mall,
mm-hmm.
okay? If I were to up and leave you and walk away, this is the rationale I have for that savings account. If I were to up and leave you, walk away, who walks away with more? Who walks away with less? Right now.
I would walk away with more of everything, though. Yeah, money and responsibility. But although I have ownership of the company, you're the brain of the company.
No, you're the brain of the company as well.
Okay, we work together good.
Yeah, I run everything.
But I'm not that typical. This is the stay-at-home mom 2019 stay-at-home mom, not 1980 stay-at-home mom.
But 1980s they didn't stay at home.
I'm a different. Yeah, they did. I'm different. Like, I have my hands in everything dealing with the business, and I know things dealing with the business. I pay all the bills. I look at the accounting. I deal with everything with the business.
So tell me more about the need for a savings account as a backup plan.
Well, that was in the beginning of our marriage.
You still have it, though?
Yeah, it's an automatic deposit goes into that account once a month. It's out of sight, out of mind. Who knows? We probably can use that money to build our house with.
Probably got $14 in that account.
I bet you I did not, and we can pull it up right now, and I can show you.
You probably got about $14 in that account.
So this is
while I'm out here working my fingers to the bone,
giving
you everything I got. You got a side savings account. Yeah,
you're supposed to work your fingers to the bone.
You know what? I might start tuning into this podcast. I can learn a lot more about you, what you got going on.
Okay, Marsau. So this has been good. I'm so happy that you decided to join me on this topic of marriage, because I know you was like, babe, I just want to talk about business. And of course, I'm going to bring you back a couple of times to discuss business, because I get most of my advice from you.
I want to just discuss about your savings account.
Oh God, we're on this.
And your Google status. I want to discuss more of that.
So we'll talk about that next time. So
this mug is Googling.
This has been good, Marsau.
I'm out working. My fingers to the bone while you at home Googling how to get a divorce.
No,
boy,
that
y'all
was
so tough, man.
You know what? We'll talk about this off air.
Yeah, so tough.
This is an off air topic. Thank you for listening to the Mommy Business Podcast. If you like the conversation with Marsau and I, please let me know. If you have any additional questions, if you would like to have him back on again to talk about different topics, please make sure you send me an email at mommybusiness@letitiascott.com. You can also follow me on social media at Letitia M. Scott across the board. And Marsau, let them know how they can follow you.
Guys, real quick, that Letitia M. Scott, her middle name is D, so that M is not necessarily for a hyphenated last name. I wouldn't dare do that to myself. You can, I don't know, just Google me. Yeah, Google me, Chuck. No, Marsau.Scott at, I guess on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter.
My husband, he's not good on social media. He's just a workaholic, so I love him so much. Thank you, babe,
he
so
works with
much.
Family. But he's about to get a savings account, so you can follow me to the bank real quick or get a savings account.
Whatever. So, thank you, Marsau. Thank you guys for listening. Y'all have a great day. Till next week.
How'd you get that money in the savings account, babe? Is my question.
It's your money. We're done. We're off. That's all for this episode. Thanks for listening, and remember, please share, subscribe, and leave a review on iTunes. Do you have any comments or questions about today's topic? I'd love to hear from you. Join our Mommy Business Tribe on Facebook, where you can share your thoughts about today's show and to get more exclusive information. It's a great place for networking and to inspire others to win at this thing we call life. Remember, ladies, your life, your blueprint. Let's get to building. This podcast is produced by Paradox East and powered in part by the Maitland Conservatory. Visit them at themaitlandconservatory.org.